Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Very excited to be here on the Transportation and Logistics Clubhouse, powered by Atlanta Dispatch and Humblebee Enterprises. Very excited to be here with our very special guest, Ramel Watley of Truck and Hustle. And before we begin, I did want to just give a huge shout out to everybody, my family, my friends that came through to celebrate my wife and I, during our baby showers over the past couple weekends. We truly appreciate the support, and we definitely look forward to having you all in our village, as we raise our child. So thank you again for the support, everybody. Also, the manuscript is finished. I am publishing a book, The Fundamentals on Dispatching. So I'm very excited about it. So just stay tuned for that. And without further ado, Ramel, brother Ramel, are you there?
I'm here, baby. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you feeling today, sir?
Man, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. Doing well, man. How are you?
The same. It's been some really good days as of late. Just making sure that we're doing everything to progress, putting one foot in front of the other. So very exciting times in my household. So again, thank you so much for joining us on stage. We had an opportunity about 7 months ago to highlight you, to give you your flowers because of all the value that you've brought to the community, to the culture. You've connected so many people, man, and having you on stage tonight, I'm just extremely honored again to be able to say I've learned so much from your platform myself, and from you, the way that you handle yourself, the way you move, especially in this content creation world. So, man, just thank you for being here. I just want to start with that.
My pleasure, brother. Thank you for having me. First and foremost, man, congratulations on the new edition. I gotta say that.
Oh, thank you,
That's
brother.
dope. That's
Oh,
that's a
thank you.
beautiful thing. What's the statistics? What we got? How what's the baby weigh? Give me all that. I need to know that.
We're still expecting, man. We're still expecting. Due date is in November, right around this conference.
Oh, okay. So you didn't have the baby yet. I thought you said
Yeah,
you had.
no,
Okay.
no. We just
I,
had
I I
those.
came in late. I came in late. All right. I got you.
No, we just had the baby shower, so we had that pre support.
Got it. All right. Well, that's dope. Well, congratulations anyway, man. That's still dope. Do you know what you're having? A boy or a
Yeah,
girl?
dude, baby boy, baby boy.
Man, baby Jory, huh?
You know it.
That's what's up,
Yes,
man. The
sir.
legacy
Yes,
continues.
sir.
The legacy continues. All right, man. Well,
Hey,
that's
man.
dope, man. Well, again, thank you for everybody who's in the room. I'm actually driving right now. I feel like I'm the hardest working man in show business, man. I'm actually on my way to do a podcast right now as we speak. I'm out in DC. So yeah, we working, man, and I'm trying to park, and then we gonna get into this FreightFest thing, man. I'm super excited. So everybody who's listening right now, I can't see everybody, but thank you for being in the room. I appreciate it, and we gonna get into it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, look, man. Again, happy to have you here. Please drive safely. Definitely a hardworking brother. This man is being interviewed right before on his way to interview somebody else. I think that's fire. I think it's fire, and I don't think he's let his foot off the pedal. Literally and figuratively, since I met him. So, look, for the folks who might not have heard of Truck and Hustle, I don't know where they would have been to not heard of Truck and Hustle, but why did you get Truck and Hustle started? You know what I mean? Let's take it back to the roots before we get to where we're going.
Yeah, 100%, man. So we started Truck and Hustle in 2019. The first episode was published July 2019. It was me and my brother Dante Dean. Dante he calls himself King Dean on Instagram if you're familiar. So basically, he was just getting started in his entrepreneurial journey. Me and Dante had actually worked together. We worked for Ryder Transportation. I was his dispatcher at one point, and he was my driver, right? So I was like his
Mm-hmm.
manager. So we had that relationship. I watched that brother go from working for Ryder to getting his own truck, becoming an owner operator. He worked in the ports, and he at the same time also watched me start my own business, leaving Ryder and actually, becoming a vendor for Ryder. So it was just a really dope, opportunity to kind of, take it back and just build on that situation, just how things kind of came full circle. So that was our first episode. And really, the whole intention with building Truck and Hustle was just to I saw a gap in information. Especially in our community, I felt as though entrepreneurship is such an important thing to me. I had recently become an entrepreneur myself, and there was a lot of things that I did wrong, right? A lot of mistakes that I made, and trucking has just been my life. I've been in the transportation industry for almost 20 years. So I've always wanted to get into podcasting because I love the space, I love the media, and I feel it's extremely intimate to where, like, you get to know the podcaster and you just build this like really deep rapport and relationship with them because you hear their voice. You don't see their face, but you hear their voice, and that voice becomes like a part of your subconscious mind, right? So that's kind of how I felt with a lot of the podcasts that I listened to. So I said I think a podcast would be a really dope and powerful medium, but I didn't really see any for transportation out there, at least that resonated with me. There were some other podcasts out there for sure, but like I said, again, it didn't resonate with me. It didn't have the feel that I wanted to have. It didn't have the texture. I come from a hip hop background, so I wanted to implement that in there. I wanted to put music into it, and just everything that I like, but at the same time, be able to deliver that value, that information, and also inspire people to get into this industry because I always saw such a valuable upside in trucking, man. Like myself personally, I came from, no college education, got my CDL, didn't use it, but I didn't have to use it because I got into operations very early. And I was, managing a multi-million-dollar account probably about 3 to 6 months into my entrance into the transportation industry, just kind of learning on the fly. And I was able to make $40,000. This is back in not 2020 anything, back in 2004 or so. I may be mixing up my dates or whatever, but either way, I was making 50 grand at that time. And at that time, man, without a college education, you couldn't make that much money, especially like,
Right.
in a desk job, you had to have some type of degree to come with that. So I was like, man, this thing is so I realized that the industry was more so, your skill set, what you knew, who you knew, your network, and what you know about the industry as opposed to having that degree. So I learned that there was such a good amount of upside, and I just dived right into it. And like I said, just kind of fast forward, just with starting the podcast, man, I saw that gap in education. I knew a lot of people who wanted to start businesses. I knew a lot of drivers. I knew a lot of people who worked in warehouses, picking and packing, and so forth and so on. And entrepreneurship was always a goal, and it was always something that they saw for themselves. But a lot of times people didn't know how to get there. So I was like, man, let's unpack some of this. Let's, use, number one, my network that I had. And then number two, let's start reaching out to people who are successful, who are doing big things, who are paving the way, and let's bring them all on one platform to where they can share their stories and inspire people. And then on top of that, give people the information that they need to actually execute. So that was, the catalyst of what Truck and Hustle was. So again, started in 19. We started on an audio platform just like this one right here. And probably about 2 years after that, we jumped on the YouTube with the visuals. We started like really like when I say working hard, like I'm doing right now. Me and my wife,
Right.
we're out on the road just pulling up, right? Because we wanted to
Right.
add that element. We wanted to add that element to it to where it's like, all right, not only can you hear it, but now you can see it. You can, see the background and see the element that the person is working in or whatever the case may be, and just make it even more real and more tangible, man. And that's what we've been doing, and we've been, I'm really grateful to just have the impact, that we've had, not only just, in the free world, but behind bars. We touch incarcerated people as well. I get letters, from people, in prison, and they, they want to change their lives, man. They see trucking as a way to change their lives. They see it as something that's forgiving of, where they've come from or the mistakes that they've made. And like I said, man, it's just a great world to get into. And I just needed to put it out there on the front stage, man. So that's how Truck and Hustle was born. And that brings us to kind of where we at today.
Yes, sir. That I love it. I love it. I love it. But even with that, what do you feel like was the earliest moment that you had validation that, all the hustle you were putting behind Truck and Hustle was like it was actually paying out? Like when did you feel like, yeah, this is I'm doing something that is moving exactly how I wanted it to move?
Yeah, I would say just the feedback, man. Just really the feedback from the people when I realized that the voice that I thought was needed was actually needed, like in the way that it was being delivered was actually needed in that way. Because I mean, I saw it. I saw the trends. I saw where it was going. I knew my friends. I knew people who were getting into the industry that were like me and that wanted content delivered the way I would deliver it. But again, you don't know how something's going to work until you try it, and you don't know how people are going to receive it, on a macro level. So once I started kind of seeing that feedback, the shares, the reposting, people reaching out, wanting to be on the platform, people saying, "Yo, it's my goal to be on Truck and Hustle," like looking at it almost as like a badge of honor to be a part of the platform. That's when I realized that we had something special with Truck and Hustle, and that's like it's like that moment where I feel like, okay, we've arrived because people have accepted it. People have accepted it in the way that we're doing it, and people want to be a part of it. They want to add on to it. They want to build because a platform is only as strong as its community and the people that are around it and making it grow. So when I realized that we had that community, that's when I was like, yo, we on to something. And that's when it's like, for me, it's like, all right, we got to double down on this and we got to make the experience better. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta double down on this experience because people want it, right? So like
Right.
supply and demand, man. Let's keep on supplying it, and it just kept on growing, man. And like I said, we're just blessed to be going for 3 years. I mean, like it seems like a lifetime to me, but like when I look back, it's only been 3 years. We've only been on YouTube for a year, so it's been a very very short amount of time that we've grown and really had the impact that we've had. So I mean, it's dope, man. And like I said, that's all attributed to the community and to the people who make Truck and Hustle, man. Our guests, the people who listen to our show, and that's what it's all about.
Yes, sir. Man, I remember the very first Truck and Hustle interview I saw on YouTube,
Who
and
was it? Who was it?
man, this brother's in the room right now. It was DeMarco, and
Okay,
I
okay.
said, man, people are out here hitting like that. I was so impressed. Not just about the platform and what you had did, it was just like the magnitude in which folks that look like me were approaching trucking, and just having a different mentality about business, about entrepreneurship. So I know I definitely have been inspired by the guests that you have had on, and like you said, people are requesting to be on it now. So I know folks who have also benefited from being able to have their story told on your platform. So at this point, it's winning both ways. It's
No
giving
doubt, no doubt.
viewers, and it's giving them that 10x that they're looking for in growing their business. So yeah, man, we're all here for it. And let's just talk about the fact that you are you started with the content creation, the podcast, and then it wasn't too long ago that you and I talked about you hosting your first event. You know what I mean? It was an early test run, a trial to say, hey, we're about to put on one event here in the Atlanta area, and an event that I went to and it was hitting. Everybody had a great time, but like to say, only a few months later, we're putting on an inaugural conference. Like, what was
Mm.
that mindset like to say? Like, what was your thought process to say, content that I'm releasing on these streaming platforms to in-person events to a juggernaut event such as a conference?
Yeah, just going crazy, man. Like one thing about me, like when I'm like I'm one of those people that when I do something, I just kind of overdo it, right? And just really just being ambitious and just knowing the value that we have to bring to the community. It's like I felt like it just couldn't wait, right? So when we did the first two events, so just to bring people up to speed who don't know, we did an event in Atlanta in June. I believe it was June 25th was the date. That was in Atlanta. We wanted to do it small because we had never like entered into the event space and we didn't know what we would be actually getting ourselves into. So we wanted to do it small. We did the event. It was about the venue held about a hundred or so people. We packed it out. It was like 120 people or so. So I'm like, damn, really, really great response. The whole community came out and everybody supported. So I was like, all right, it was a proof of concept for me, right? Like the whole reset concept was like, yo, we need to take Truck and Hustle and we need to do an in-person version of that to where we can actually start connecting with people on an intimate level, and bring these same people that everybody sees, on the platform, on the YouTube and so forth, or on a podcast in person. Like, you can actually connect and start networking and start building. So I was like, I came up with this concept of a reset, and then anybody who's in the trucking community knows that for a driver, they have their 34-hour reset after they, have 70 hours of on duty and drive time. So they got to reset their clock. So the reset is like a break. So it was meant to be a opportunity to let your head down, network with like-minded people, and just connect. So we did that. We started out small, like I said, 100 people. It was great. The response was awesome. Everybody dug it. So I said, you know what? Let's double back. Let's do it again. But the only thing that the feedback that I was getting from the reset was everybody wanted it to be bigger. Everybody was like, "Yo, we want it. It needs to be bigger." Like, that was enough. Because again, I'm not trying to jump all the way out the window. I said, let me try it first before I go crazy, and before we go crazy. So everybody was like, "Yo, we want to go bigger." So I was like, "All right, cool. We gonna go bigger. Let's do it again." And this time we did Houston. So we went to Houston. We got full autonomy at this spot called Grooves. People showed up, people supported. About 400 something people came out. We packed it
Woo.
out, and it was just an awesome event, man. Like, you really had to be there. Anybody who's on this call who was also at that reset can attest to just the energy that was in that room. It was crazy, right? It's like, you don't got to ask me, ask anybody else who was there, right? It was just nuts. So this was all really leading up to the plan of the conference, right? So the conference was really all a part of the vision before these resets kind of came into play, right? But the resets were just kind of warming, like getting my team, getting myself kind of warmed up to doing events, and just collecting data, getting feedback, and just getting into a new space, because I'm a podcaster, man. We do podcasts, we do interviews, that's what we do. So I wanted to kind of put my foot in the pool before we dived all the way in, right?
Right.
So that's kind of why we did those resets leading up to it. But truth be told, the event, the Freight Fest, which we're going to talk about tonight, that's been on the roadmap, and that was always in the plan. But the resets were just kind of like the build up to get there. You know what I'm saying? So to get to Freight Fest, man, that has been a vision of mine. I would say at least for the last 2 years. I actually grabbed the domain freightfest.org a couple years ago, just to kind of cement the idea. Like, usually if I have an idea, I always like take some type of forward action step
Right.
towards it, just to kind of like cement it, right? So I grabbed that domain and I just put it there. I let it sit there. And that's not the domain now. It's actually freightfest.com. I had to go and buy that. I
Yeah.
had to
Yeah.
I had to spend a bag for that. Somebody had it snatched up, right?
Right. To
so
be
uh
honest,
so
I saw that domain. I was like, "Ooh, that's official." You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. We had to spend a bag for that. We had to spend a bag for that. So, but I had grabbed the original one just to put it out there, just so I could say, all right, this is gonna happen. I'm manifesting it, and the goal was, man, really to do something different, right? So, throughout the conferences I've been to, throughout my life, and just in general, I don't think that anybody can really do a truck and hustle style conference because of the type of content that we deliver. It wouldn't make sense for anybody else to do it but us. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Right? Because we touch on so many different verticals, because we touch on so many different opportunities, so many different styles of transportation, right? Anybody really can't do it, and it makes sense to the audience. But it makes sense to the truck and hustle audience, because this is an extension of what truck and hustle is, right? So in my mind, I'm like, man, it would be really dope to put together a conference in the same vein of what we do with truck and hustle, where we explore all these different opportunities, right? And all these different verticals that people are interested in, but at the same time, help people to understand all the foundational things that go along with that, right? So you're always going to have some type of financial component. You're always going to have some type of insurance component, some type of compliance component, right? And some type of driver retention component. So all these different components are always going to be there throughout any type of transportation, but there's all these other different verticals that you could get into. So typically, if you go to a conference, they're going to talk about one thing and they're going to dive into that. But I said, Freight Fest, man, it's Freight Fest. Freight is what? Whatever moves from point A to point B, right? So we're going to be touching on everything. Like, imagine being able to go somewhere and just have like an exploratory where you can just learn, deep knowledge about a bunch of different topics, you know what I'm saying, over a 3 day course, over a 3 day period of time, right? You could get some knowledge on dump trucks, you get some knowledge on car hauling, you get some knowledge on, whatever it is you want to scale your business, your dream is to have a fleet of trucks, you do general freight, whatever that is. So my goal with that was, how do we create something to where we can do all of this under one roof and just make it really experiential, make it really dope, and most importantly, make it to where people walk away with something tangible knowledge that they could walk away and implement into whatever business they desire to start, to grow, or to diversify into, right? So that's the goal, right? To create that atmosphere where people could come, they could learn to diversify, and another most important element to it is the networking aspect of it, right? You get to network with all these different people from all these different areas and be able to connect with them. And I think only Truck and Hustle could do that, and I just felt like we had to do it. It was just time. Like, there's a thing called like inertia, like momentum. Like, we just have the momentum now to where it's been building, and I think that the people, our community, wants it. So it's like, why wait, right? Why wait? So we just went for it, man, and we just put it together. And right, it's just no looking back now, man. It's we going at it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And look, while the people who are in here, look, click on that link tree, the link at the top, and when you do that, you'll see that there's a link to the actual conference, Freight Fest. You can pull that up right now, and you'll also see that there is a discount code for you guys being in this room this evening. It is Freight Fest 50. So it should be no caps and it should be no spaces. Freight Fest 50. So go ahead and click on that link tree and secure your opportunity today. But look, let me while we're talking about that, the networking and being able to get something physically, tangibly that you can implement into your business, like your experience going to conferences, right? I've seen you at several conferences, and
I'm
like,
everywhere, man. I'm everywhere.
and most of the time you're emceeing, like you're asking questions, and so you have your hands in a lot of different uh, setups, a lot of things that are being put together. I mean, what do you feel like Freight Fest, the fact that you've been able to see so many different opportunities and so many different conferences, what's one of the things that Freight Fest is going to be able to offer the people?
Yeah, so to start, I'm gonna double back and say the most powerful thing that Freight Fest is gonna be able to offer off the top is just being able to see different people from different verticals doing things differently, to where you can figure out how you can implement that into your business. The networking component is key, right? Anybody who's in business knows that your net worth is your net worth. It's not just a cliche. It's the
It's not.
absolute truth. It's not. It's never what you know. It's always who you know, always, and anybody can debate me on that, right? So you have to get yourself, and I hate to use the same word, get in the room and all that, but it's true. Like, you got to really get in the room, you got to network with like-minded people, and you got to connect with people who know things that you don't know, people that you don't, and have access to information and resources that you don't, right? That's the only way you're going to be able to grow. That's the only way you're going to be able to scale. That's the only way opportunities come. Case in point, just in the reset that we did last, if I could tell you how many people came to me afterwards and said, "Yo, I got this deal with somebody off of just being in the room with them." They're just simply in there talking, networking, having brunch together, but money was being made in that room just off of just the fact that they're both commonly in the room, sitting down, talking. Everybody who's in the room knows that they're of the same mindset, right? Because we're all business people here, so that you could put that out the way, right? You don't got to figure that part out, and then the conversations just open up, and the floodgates just open, man. So that's what I think is one of the key elements to get exposure to all these different opportunities that you may have not even known existed, and if you knew they existed, you didn't know somebody who was actively doing it, right, and that you could talk to, or that you could use as a reference right in front of your face. So I think that's super impactful and super important. Number two is with Freight Fest for me, I'm I'm curating Freight Fest from a perspective of this is not a free for all conference. This is a I am I'm finding the best people I know in certain spaces, and I'm going to ask them to speak on specific topics, right? The best people I know in certain spaces to speak on specific topics. So it's not where you go on stage and you speak about whatever you want. Now, obviously, anybody can iterate and go wherever they want to go with things, but for me, I want to make sure that certain things are covered. So at least if at least when you get off of that stage, the audience walks away with a framework, right? With a resource, with a tip, with something that's tangible to make sure that they can implement that immediately. Like not like later down the line, but like immediately, right? So what are these frameworks that you use? What are these resources that are these used? Who is this network that you have access to that nobody has access to that's allowed you to be in business for the last 10 years or 20 years, right? What are these things that you can bring to the table? So that's the goal that we're fishing for, to get that out. A lot of times you when you go to conferences, people just are kind of, they go on stage and they kind of speak on what they want to speak on, which is cool. But I'm like, I'm pushing a little bit further because I'm like, yo, you already know what Truck and Hustle's about. Truck and Hustle's about digging for that gold, right? People are not gonna be satisfied unless they get them diamonds. They're not gonna be satisfied. So I need you to come on here, do what you do, and kill it the way you kill it. Be you how you be you. But let's make sure that the people walk away with something, and everybody that I've connected with, all of the speakers, they're on board because they're already people of value already, right? So they want to give that value, they want to give that information. So we're going to provide that stage to make sure that they're able to do it.
I love it, man. I definitely love it. And I love the location of Houston for this conference. You know what I mean? Especially it's November. If you were trying to have it up in Jersey, it'd be a little difficult with that weather. You know what I
Facts.
mean? But what made you feel like Houston was the perfect place for your inaugural conference?
Yeah, so I mean, number one, data. You always want to be smart as a business person from a business mind. Houston is one of our biggest markets. Houston, Dallas as well. Atlanta, shout out to Atlanta, another big market. New
Yeah,
York, Philadelphia, a lot of the major hubs. Los Angeles, right? So, but Houston is one of our biggest markets. So that right there set Houston apart. Also, just it's a beautiful city. It's some place where you want to visit without having a conference to go to, right? So it's like, man, you want to bring people somewhere where if they would vacation there anyway, regardless, right? Or they would go there anyway, even if they didn't have the business trip or the conference aspect to it. So I wanted to make sure that it was a place like that. And then Houston is just one of those places, man. It's just they lawless in Houston, man. We just do whatever you want to do in Houston, man. I like that aspect of it. There's not a whole bunch of red tape that you got to go to make things happen. They're pretty much open to making things happen, and we needed to just do that. We need to bet on somewhere that we know we'd be able to realize our vision to its fullest potential. And
Yeah.
I think Houston was definitely that. And I mean it, just even in doing that reset in August, that just was like it just showed like the power of the community, in Houston. And also, I hadn't really heard of anything else being done in Houston, like for me. So I was like, let's go somewhere else different. Like I love Atlanta. First thought was, hey, let's do it in Atlanta. I was like, nah, let's not do it in Atlanta. Let's do it somewhere else different, man. Let's give the people in Atlanta an opportunity to travel. Let's let them have a vacation. You know what I'm saying? Because I know they tired of going to all these events like in their backyard. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, let's do something somewhere else where they could get an opportunity to travel, and it could be a little bit of a different. It could be experiential. So I think all those like different elements just made Houston just really a dope spot to do it at, man. I think that was like the deciding factor. And then like once we looked at the spot, the venue, was crazy. We're at the Royal Sonesta Galleria, right downtown by the hotel. The venue was really 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 nice as well. That was another huge selling point for me. Like when I got there, I got to see that venue. I got to see what they offered in terms of experiential, what it was going to look like, what I could imagine us doing with it, from a decorational standpoint, and like what we could turn that place into. I was like, all right, this is dope. So it was a couple things, Jory, that like really, made me make that decision. But that's pretty much it. Like those are the main factors.
Yes, sir. Well, I completely understand that. Look, for the folks who are in the audience, this is something that we love to be able to get some live feedback, maybe some stuff that you actually want to have happen at the conference, the things that you would want out of a conference to begin with. Some of the maybe the different topics to discuss. I know this brother has a billion, actually 150 published episodes. So, I know it's a lot of subject matter experts that are going to be in the building. But in case there wasn't something that was already posted that you wanted to learn something about, I would say that this right here might be the platform for you to to raise that. So if you wanted to drop a comment in the chat, or if you wanted to come up to the stage, feel free. And again, that link at the top of the situation here, that link tree. Go ahead and click on that bad boy so that you can take advantage of that $50 off of the actual price of the conference. So Freight 50 is the discount code. So those would definitely be some opportunities for you to take advantage of right now. Look, how big, Ramel, back to us, how big are sponsors and partners when it comes to putting on something of this magnitude? Like, so that it's not all on you when you're already hustling. You're interviewing on your way to interview somebody, like, to have that support. How important is that for you?
Yeah, 100%. You read my mind, Jerry, because I see my OTR family in the building. Man, sponsors and support is huge in every single way. Obviously, you need people to back your vision from a monetary standpoint. That's number one. We can't make this happen. We can't create experiences, based off of good merit, right? So we could walk in a building and say, hey, we have this really cool conference. It's going to help a lot of people, but it costs to do that, right? So from a monetary standpoint, of course, it's a huge help. And I definitely have to take this moment and to really, really, truly thank OTR Solutions, who have been in Truck and Hustle's corner, from I feel like damn near day one. And I say that because even though we didn't make things official from day one, we had conversations very early, and they really understood what Truck and Hustle's vision was, where we were going with things. I laid out the entire game plan to them. I let them know where we were going. I let them know, about, my creative, where I'm at creatively, where my team is at creatively, and they've been fully on board. They fully support every single thing we do, day to day, week to week, year to year. So, man, when you talk about sponsors and you talk about people who are helping support, it doesn't get any better than OTR Solutions. So, I would implore anybody who doesn't work with OTR, who's on this call, just from a business standpoint, from a solution standpoint, factoring. We always say they're more than a factoring company. They provide, different solutions for, small to large companies, but they really focus on the smaller carrier, to really help you grow your business. So if you haven't tapped in with them, definitely make sure you do that. I see my man Jonathan in the building. I see Wade. I think I see also. So make sure you tap in with them, OTR Solutions. But to just get back to your question, it's super important because we need support, right? Ultimately, like before you have that, you have me digging into my pocket and just funding things, right? I, I,
Right.
I don't I don't sell anything, right? Like I don't sell anything. Everything that Chuck and Hustle does is for free. It's freemium. Like we week to week give free information, and that's what this has been built on. So we depend on support from outside sources, to help us to see our visions come to fruition. Because at the end of the day, I'm not rich for sure. I'm definitely not that guy. I don't know. There's some people out here getting it, but I'm not one of them, man. I'm just a regular guy, man. I'm an entrepreneur. I got it. I just do what I could do. My family's good, but I'm not that guy who just has millions to just throw away, man. So financial support is super important, and we need to have that in order to create these experiences so that people have opportunities to help themselves grow. So that's what this is about. That's what that does. That provides creatives like us, right? Creatives like myself, the freedom to be able to create opportunities and create experiences for people to be able to do things and be able to be in a comfortable space and consume content comfortably the way they want to consume it and the way they want to consume it when you have that support. So it means everything, man. So big shout to OTR Solution and big shout to all the other sponsors who are coming on board who are going to help us put this event together. OTR is our title sponsor, so big ups to them, man. They've supported us all the way.
No doubt about it, man. I think I might have met J Mac at the very beginning of my clubhouse experience. You know what I mean? So it was very early. I've been dealing with OTR solutions. Dispatching for a corporation. Corporation that had about 700 trucks. They didn't factor. So me having once I opened Atlanta Dispatch, I had to learn that part of the industry because almost all owner operators are needing those factoring services. So they definitely taught me the game, the ins, the outs, what to look for in a partnership agreement, a factoring agreement, and no, I can definitely see how they can add value to your situation. So I agree, man. Those partnerships are key, and I'm very, very happy that you are able to get a partner that saw your vision and helped you bring that bad boy to life. Look, if there are folks that are in the audience that plan on attending, want to attend, or have any type of feedback for what you want to see out of a conference, again, this is your time to put that, put those questions to, get them answered right here, right now. So,
Yeah,
go.
let's do this. Let's do this, Joy. See, everybody in this room, number one, needs to be there. Like, it's no question that y'all need to be there. So, I want to bring anybody on the stage who feels as though they don't need to be there, and I will help them realize why they need to be. So, anybody on the stage who doesn't feel like they need to be at Freight Fest, please come to the stage and let's talk about it, man. Let's go through it. Let's do a therapy session. Other than that, other than that, I would love to hear your feedback on what you would like to see at Freight Fest. That is super duper important to me. I want to get as much information as I can so to make sure that we're going in the right direction with this thing and make sure we know what you like, what you don't like, and just try to get a general consensus on what makes sense for you. Because at the end of the day, you're spending your hard-earned money to come out here. It's not cheap, right? And we want to make sure that you get all the value that you can out of this opportunity. So please, anybody who just has anything in their head, feel free, man. Do not be shy. Just jump on the stage real quick. Tell me what y'all want from this thing, man, and I'm gonna make sure that it happens. Hold me accountable. Like
Yes,
that's what it's
sir.
about. That's why I'm not the guy who's afraid to face the adversity, man. Bring it on. I'm here, please. Like this is a great opportunity to do that. So please, like anybody who has a question, a concern, they want to know more, whatever is cool. Also, just in terms of speakers, right now, if you go to the website right now, freightfest.com, you will see about 20 speakers listed. There will be more. We're adding speakers. You can check out the speakers. Once you look through it, you'll see the diversity in the speakers, right? Diversity in both ways, right? From an ethnic standpoint. Damn, that word is killing me today. From an ethnic standpoint, we have that diversity as well as we have diversity in talent and specialty, right? So check that out. We will be adding more speakers. We'll be dropping them throughout the week, and you'll be seeing those updates. Make sure you follow Freight Festival on Instagram. That's our Instagram page, Freight Festival. I couldn't get the damn Freight Fest. It killed me, but I don't know who got it, but I'm looking for them. If anybody could figure that out, let me know. But yeah, Freight Festival on Instagram. That's where we'll be doing all our updates for Freight Fest, and then also obviously the website. So yeah, any questions, man, or anything y'all want to bring to the table, please feel free. I'm here. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Right, right. Look, while they're raising their hands, because you definitely have the ability to raise your hands right now, folks. You know, are you open? I know that you said that you're adding more speakers. How would somebody, if they felt like they had, some gems to drop, in a certain skill set to, share with the people? What would be the best means for them to, get that vetted out?
They need to reach out to Kwaku at truckandhustle.com. That's KWEKU at truckandhustle.com or ops at truckandhustle.com. We are always, and I mean always, looking for new people to share, always looking for new energy to bring to the platform. because we can't find everybody. You know what I mean? So we depend on our community to most of the people that we have on a platform are usually via word of mouth. Somebody is a referral, like, hey, you should have this guy, or this woman is doing these great things here, there, whatever, right? So that's usually how it comes. So we don't have to do as much, looking as we did early in the game, right? But we're always looking for new, people to share with us, man, and jump on the platform. That's what it's all about. So I would say email either Kweku, Kweku, at truckandhustle.com, or ops at truckandhustle.com, OPS at truckandhustle.com. Give a brief overview of your of like your story, what you got going on, and we would love to have you on. And I think on the link tree too, on our link tree on Instagram, there's a guest as well. You could be a guest also. Now in terms of for the conference, it might be a little bit late for that, but you know what I mean? If you're talking about to get on the conference stage, it might be a little bit late for that. You know what I mean? We pretty much have that secured in terms of the direction that we're going with that. But we still need you to be there. We need you to soak up this information. We need you to be a part of it. And we definitely want everybody to be in attendance. But yeah, but that will be the way to get to us and really connect with us. And we answer all the emails. We're going to make sure we connect with you in one way or another. Give us some time, because there are a lot of inquiries about a lot of different things. So it might not be right away sometimes. I know sometimes people get mad at me. I've been told I'm blackballing people from the show and all kind of crazy stuff. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even know who you are. I've heard it. I've literally heard it before. It's crazy, but sometimes people feel that way. But it's never that. It's just that we haven't. We've either missed the information, or we just haven't seen it, or we haven't gotten to it. So yeah, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. So
Okay.
definitely, I please, all y'all do that, man. Reach out, and if you know somebody else, you want to refer a friend, do that too. Just come with the story, you know, and that's it. We're ready for it.
Okay. And look, man, I'm looking at the lineup of the speakers, and your network is like no one else's. Okay, when you
No
started
one
up.
else is Jory. Say that again.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I mean, I believe it wholeheartedly. When you look up, when you think about the folks that you've had an opportunity to build these relationships with, you're right. Nobody could do it like this. Like this is only something that could be done by Truck and Hustle, to have these type of people who are all influential and knowledgeable, and thought leaders in their own individual sectors, and bringing them under one roof in one conference. And for the folks who's interested in drayage and port operations, we got Hope White. I've learned a lot from her already. We got cannabis transportation over here with the brothers. It just goes on and on. We all know Adam Wingfield. This man gives game out all day long. So I'm just very excited about what you've been able to structure here, and I know that it's going to be a success. Your inaugural event, FreightFest 2022. I'm excited, man. We do have somebody that raised their hand. Very blessed to bring this brother on stage. All right, so we should have him up here momentarily, or he actually just left out of the room. But yeah, I'm very excited about Freight Fest 2022. I know that it's just the start of many amazing things to come. If there were any questions, holla at him. But this brother's about to go interview somebody, so we're going to be very respectful of this brother's time. Him and the first lady. So if Ramel, did you have anything that you wanted to say before we closed out?
Man, I just want to, everybody who's in the room, I want to thank all of y'all for number one, just sitting here through this. I definitely appreciate everybody's time. I do not take it for granted. And, this is not a sales pitch, y'all. Like, everybody needs to be at Freight Fest. This is going to be a historical event, like for real. Myself, my team, we are putting our heart and soul into this event to make sure that this is there's nothing ever like it. It won't ever be touched. And this is the first one, right? So we can't. So I always tell everybody on the team, like, yo, we can't brick. We cannot brick. We cannot have people walking out of this event like, why did I come all the way to Houston for this? No, I will not have that. Not on Truck and Hustle's name. So because of that, I can guarantee you will walk out of this event changed. You'll walk out of this event empowered. You'll walk out of this event with information. you'll walk out of this event connected. You'll walk out of this event well networked, and you'll walk out of this event better than you came. And that's our goal. That continues to be Truck and Hustle's goal. Thank you to everybody who's here. I see some of the Hustle fam in the building. Chris, Ashley, OTR, Dominique was good. And a lot of y'all, my man Mamadou's on the line. There's some other people. The faces aren't familiar, but being that you're here right now, you are family. 100%. Anybody who knows or who has met me in person knows I greet everybody the same way, man. Y'all are all family to me, and I really hope to see y'all in November, for real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, look, we did get a surprise person on stage. I'm not sure if you can see this, brother, but DeMarco, you there, sir?
I am. Good evening.
Hey, what's up now? Thank you so much for coming up to the stage. Hey, man, again, your story specifically gave me so much inspiration, and the way that Ramel and you connected on that, I'm pretty sure it changed a lot of lives. I think that thing has over a couple hundred, maybe even a million views now on YouTube. So, look, thank you for coming up to the stage. Did you want to say anything specific to this brother?
I did, man. I really wanted to give him his flowers. I mean, along with yourself for number one hosting this podcast. But before I interviewed with Truck and Hustle, I wasn't even on social media. I literally met Ramel through a referral who told me about his podcast, and they knew about my story, and they said, "Hey, you should actually get on this podcast and enlighten the people about what you're doing and what you've built." And and Ramel allowed me that opportunity. And honestly, since then, it opened my eyes to social media. Like I was opposed to it at first.
Mm-hmm.
We had built a 20 truck um, community. We had over 200 trucks we were dispatching, and I got on Truck and Hustle, and I felt like, why am I here? What's the purpose, and what can I add as far as value? And as soon as that interview dropped, man, I got all kind of calls about, the people who understood the message, who was inspired by what we were doing. I got business opportunities. And so I just wanted to take time to, number one, thank the brother and tell him to keep striving. My company, Metro Max, will continue to be behind you and support you, in whatever capacity we can. And that encouraged me to even go further. I mean, since that interview, I got a couple of my managers on this call, Tyson, Shaq, Chris, and us as a team. We're over 300 employees now in the US and 250 in India. And I think a big part of that is Truck and Hustle, because you inspire me to, number one, connect with people and know that we can even go further. So thank you, brother. And I hope you continue to push this effort. I'm looking forward to Freight Fest, and I'm looking forward to connecting with like-minded individuals who really trying to grow in this transportation space and take it to the next level. So thank you again.
Well, hey man, look, Ramel, that you got to respond to that.
I'm sitting here trying to collect my words to make sure I respond properly,
Woo!
right? Because you don't just like jump on and just say anything after like words like that are spoken. I can't speak. There's nothing I could say in terms of the man that brother is that just now came on the stage. I mean, he's been solid through and through. Since the first day we connected, and we've built a friendship. And man, it's he's talk about support. He supported the reset. He was there. Metro Max was there, right? They supported me. Like, so, man, this is what keeps me going when it gets tough, when it gets difficult, when it gets hard, when it's a lot to bear. It's a lot happening. These type of these type of remarks keep me motivated and keep me going, and just let me know that we're on the right track, man. We're impacting people. We're doing the right things. And when a brother like DeMarco could come on and say something like that, man, that's powerful. So and for all y'all who don't know DeMarco, this is a man that y'all could definitely learn from. If y'all not following him here on Clubhouse, probably follow him on Metro Max Dispatch, or ask DeMarco wherever you can find him. I don't know where the best place is to connect with you, DeMarco, but man, make sure you follow this brother. He is just so insightful, so much wisdom, and he just now the resume speaks for itself. There's really nothing I have to say about that, but Yeah, I mean, thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for those words. And see you at FreightFest. See, case in point, what I just now said, right? For everybody there, is what I just now said. The people that you will meet at FreightFest
Right.
are second to none. Like, and that's just it, man. Like that is, I don't know what else I could say, man. I'm just waiting for somebody to come and debate me as to why you don't want to come. So I can give them some therapy and tell them why you to be there, man. But outside of that, man, I literally, I love all of y'all, man. I appreciate everybody in this room, man, for real. I really do.
Well, look, man. Again, Ramel, we all love what you've done for this culture, and Truck and Hustle. We're here to support it, man. So anything that I can do. Oh, this right here is the least I can do. I'm just very grateful that this is something that I was able to do. But again, I appreciate you, brother. DeMarco, thank you so much for coming up and sharing those words. They were very powerful, and they meant a lot, especially coming from somebody who, you don't technically have to do any of this. You don't have to do any of this. So it means a lot when you do. To have you present and participating does mean a lot, brother. So thank you again for coming up. If you guys have any questions about Freight Fest, feel free to, reach out to Ramel directly, or, to that ops at truckandhustle.com, or Kwaku at truckandhustle.com. If you're trying to be a guest on the show in the future, just allow time for them to respond to you. But yeah, that's basically it.
And,
Right.
and let me give y'all this number real quick. Everybody write this number down. Write this number down if you don't have this number. 404-737-1823. 404-737-1823. It's also on our Instagram page. If you have any questions or concerns or just want to further the conversation, you don't feel like doing it publicly here or whatever, feel free to text me. That goes directly to me. That's not no like no receiver on the line or nothing like that. That is me. I get that. So if you have a question about Freight Fest, you're on the fence, shoot me a message and then I'll let you know why you need to be there in the fall. And I'll end it with that, man. I love y'all, man. As I say all the time, if you smell something burn, it's only a desire. And I mean that.
All right, bet. Be blessed, brother. Thank you again, DeMarco.
Thank you so much. OTR Solutions, DeMarco, the whole fam. Appreciate everybody. Jury, thank you, man. Thank you so much for everything.
No doubt, brother.